there, my name is Asleon. Today I'll be talking about how I built my lighter. So, you're not lighter. Hi, Hugo. Let me, did I just, I must scroll. Here he is. Let's give him a little stop. Thank you. Now let's go over his base stats. He's got, let me double check. Okay, perfect. I revamped his artifacts group, or drive disk not long ago, so I need to double check to make sure they were all leveled. So he's got 11,285 HP, 899 defense, 2,249 attack, 190 impact, 57 over 78 crit damage, 91 anomaly mastery, 117 anomaly proficiency, no pen ratio, and 1.2 energy regen. Now, skill-wise, yeah, we'll go ahead and do this one, and then we'll go to the equipment. Skill-wise, you would want to level, I call it the alphabet thing, it's technically the core passive. So I say start by leveling your core passive, and then, oh gosh, I'd probably go his base, his E, then his ult, and I wouldn't worry too much about these two. Their recommendation is E, or alt, base, E, ult, or, you know, his, yeah, I think just basic attack, special attack, and then his ultimate. Because I'm pretty sure this is where the morale, the combo strike goes in, and everything. That's it for that. Now, onto this, I actually put, for his W engine, I actually have him the Simmering Pot, which is the new event weapon. It gives impact, but activating a follow-up assist, which, if I recall correctly, not here, assist follow-up, so I believe this would be the follow-up assist, is clicking bad or defenses, activating strike from me, dealing fire damage, characters involved using this skill. So, after using the skill, press or hold this. So, after a defensive assist, so if someone's getting attacked, which I do super often with lighter, is someone's getting attacked, you tap him in, and then you attack with him. So he's going to be getting this buff quite often, because that's one thing you do have to look out for this new one, is are they going to get the follow-up assist thing? So I personally have him on this Simmering Pot. Before I put him on that, I had him on Precious Fossilized Core, which is also good, but it does rely on their HP, and as they get down, it gets less effective. This one's just as long as you do the follow-up assist. You could also put him on Vortex Arrow. I basically I would only put him on something that has impact, not something that has energy regeneration, because that's basically like your two options typically for this. I think there might be one, yeah, right here, one that gives attack, but I personally just don't care enough to give it. It could be okay for him, but I personally would just put most of my stun characters, unless like their signature, not a single person signature I have on them doesn't give impact. Jufufu is the only one on energy regeneration, and on that note, oh, I do actually have an extra fossilized one. I'll have to check to see if Jufufu is going to benefit more from that or not, if I'm actually going to swap her. But anyway, that's what I have for W engines. For lighter, for drive disc, I really just have two sets that I think about putting on, which is Shockstar Disco and King of the Stomach, 2 or 4 of either, just 2 piece of one and 4 piece of the other one. In my personal opinion, you could, and they have recommended Inferno Metal, which just gives them more fire damage. I personally don't care. And then this one gives him energy regen. I don't know if I missed something in his kit that he really wants energy regen, or if the energy regen helps with his morale. I mean, you do use his E, but I personally don't care for too much energy regen on him. I could have missed something when looking over his kit, though. Now, so like I said, the two sets I put them on are 2-piece or 4-piece of Shockstar Disco, or 2-piece or 4-piece of King of the Summit. Now for your 6s, you basically any impact character, you want them on an impact disc on 6. But so in lieu of that, he's on an impact disc. 5, he's on fire damage to help buff his damage there, because like it's what, fire and attack percent, or probably what you'd want him on for this one, fire being the better one. Because I don't think there's anything else all that good that you could put him on that's available for that disc. And then crit rate or crit damage, depending on whichever one you want to put on him more. And that's really all for the artifacts. Now we could go to his constellations, which are all long. It's fun. But the first one is when he activates the collapse part, or activating his passive, the core passive, which is the alphabet thing. It has a collapse effect in it, which normally extends the duration of your stun effect for 3 seconds. This one boosted up to being 5 seconds, which is really, really nice. So it has stun duration. It's super awesome. And then it also, within his core passive, he does fire and ice resistance shredding. He does 10% more shredding than he normally does. So I think that gets you up to 30. No, it might be 25. 15 might be the original number. I don't quite remember. And then the powerful finishing move that follows up when Lighter was morale. So the finishing move he does after his morale's completely gone deals 30% more damage. As you can see, it has 3 whole things. They're all with the core passive. So basically, it extends the duration. It makes a stunned character stunned for 5 more seconds. It increases the, I think it's 15% resistance shredding he does for ice and fire damage to 25. And the finishing move of his morale thing does 30% more damage. All within the core passive. His things are long. It's kind of annoying. And so this, when applying collapse via the core passive, which is the same thing. The stun damage multiplier collapse was, I believe, what the one that extended the duration. So the stun multiplier. So the multiplier for stun damage is increased by 25%. Lots of words, also confusing words, but you know, you get a multiplier for your stun damage, and you get 25% more of that when this triggers. And then, this is fun, the additional ability is their smiley faces. I didn't always know this, but I actually figured this out when looking at this. I was trying so hard to figure out what the additional ability was. But the additional ability is their smiley faces. And then when he triggers that, it's really confusing. I read it over, but when he triggers it for additional, if I recall correctly, I read it like, I don't know, 4 hours ago. For additional impact he has that's above 170, he will gain more buffing to ice and fire damage. Now, I believe what this is saying is that, because the cap of that is 75, because here, let me pull up, because it gets confusing. And I'm not even sure how his second con really works, but here. When obtaining elation, if Lighter's impact exceeds 170, every additional 10 points of impact will increase the buff effect provided by each stack of elation by 0.25. When any member launches a chain attack, will refresh the duration of all squad members' elation. Elation can increase the ice and fire damage of an agent to a maximum of 75. I think it increases the 75 to 120. Because here, it's what? It hits, stacking, you have wand and morale boost when the 15 large spaces attack, blah, blah, blah. The important part is it stacks up to 20 times less than 30 seconds. Repeated triggers reset the duration. And for each stack of elation, which can stack up to 20 times, they get a 1.25% damage bonus. Which, with the additional thing here, which is in addition to this. In other words, from my understanding of what it does, its second con was the stun, in addition to the stun multiplier buff, it also makes the maximum 120. I think. Because technically it doesn't specify that it is the this is why. Provided elation from the additional. The increase to ice and fire damage provided by elation from the additional ability Fire Spirit increases to 120 of the original. 120% of the original. Or is this something? This ability is very confusing to me. The increase to the ice and fire, or does it just increase the amount you're getting the increase of by 120%? So if it's, let me read it again. Provided by the increase to the ice and fire damage by violation from additional ability fighting spirit increases to 120% of the original. Or is it saying that increases the buff to it, so increased by 1.25, and it's 124% of that, so it's actually 220, 20 is... I'm not doing all the math, it's 2 something. It would be 250 something. Rough math. We're just ignoring the 20%. But that's if you double it, which is 100% of it. Anyway, not entirely sure what that con is actually trying to say. If you do, let me know. I am super confused by it. Anyway, the third one is a simple one. Like every other third constellation, it increases the level of all of his stuff. Easy peasy. His fourth is when Lighter's off field, the energy regen for the on-field character is increased by 10%. And then, so when Lighter enters the field, entering the morale boost state, he restores 4 energy for off-field characters. So all your other characters get 4 energy. This effect can only trigger once every 18 seconds. So this is just giving everybody but Lighter more energy regeneration. And then 5 is also easy. Just, again, levels up everything. Then 6 is a long one. So, Lighter now recovers morale 200% more efficiently than its original value. So, if I'm understanding that right, I don't know what the original value is, but it's 4 times. It's 4 times that amount. Because twice is 100%, because that you take that number and double it. As long as I'm doing my math right. So 200% should be 4 times, because it's that number. Or is it just 3 times? Anyway. What was it? If you increase something by 200% of its original value, you have its original value. So with 100% just doubles it. 200% should triple it. That makes sense, because you have its original value, and the 200% of it would be it multiplied by 2, so it'd be 3 times its original value. Unless, you're replacing too many complicated things. I'm pretty sure it's 3 times the original value of whatever the original thing was. So when he lands a heavy strike on an enemy with anything, it lists out all the things, but I'm like, that is basically all the stuff. It will trigger this new ability he has after getting his latest con, called Blazing Impact. It deals 250% of Lighter's attack as fire damage. This can only trigger once every 8 seconds, and if Lighter has more than 170 impact, it will gain a Blazing Impacts. Blazing Impact will deal 5% more damage, up to a maximum of 500% for each additional point above 170. So let me see if I can state that more coherently. So when he lands a heavy strike on an enemy, he will trigger Blazing Impact, which deals 250% of his attack as fire damage. This can only trigger once every 8 seconds, with exceptions. We'll get to those in a moment. Now, if Lighter's impact is above 170, for each point above 170, it will increase the multiplier of Blazing Impact by 5%, up to a maximum of 500. So I think, it adds 5%, so it's 255, it's 171. Now, when he hits the finishing move of the morale, he will activate Blazing Impact when hitting the enemy. This ignores the effect's cooldown. This is what I meant by, it's got an 8 every 8 seconds except for this one. So that's it. Like I said, a lot of lighters. I've been going over the cons for a while. I used to skip over the cons in my older videos. And lighters are a pain. Some of them are wordy but pretty simple. His are just like, and here's effect 1, 2, 3, and 4, all for this one con. And we're gonna say it increases by 200%. Just giving a multiple, or just giving a new number. Why do you have to make me figure out what you mean by an additional 200%? Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and fight Pompeii for the showcase. But first, team-wise, I run him with Eevee and Asta. This is his main team. I don't think I actually actively have him in many other teams. Granted, I try to keep them in as few teams as possible because I want to be able to use the entire team that I typically use for them at the same time when I'm doing endgame stuff. He used to be in Hugo's team, but then Dylan came out, and I decided I was going to keep the team like this. I did a couple of experiments, and I decided Lycan was better. Especially, this was before Lycan got his core... What is it called? I shall follow your orders. This. Potential vision. There we go. This is before, because I debated it when Dylan came out. That was before he had his potential vision. After his potential vision, definitely he was going to do way better with Dylan, but before then I did a little experimenting and decided Lycan was the better one opposed to Lighter. I do also have him in my Ellen's team, just giving plenty of stun to her. But really, Lighter's a pretty versatile character. Just throw him in any team that you need a stunner, as long as you don't mind him being... Because he takes up a good handful of field time. I find that's good because they switch between the two of them plenty often with Asta's ability. Now, you do also want to pay attention to this, is what? You need an attack character or same faction. So they have to be Son of Caledon or an attack. Eevee's obviously attack. And I know it's Evelyn, but I call her Eevee, and I am not changing. So that fulfills that condition. Anyway, let's get right into it. I feel like I've been talking a lot this episode, mostly because those stupid cons are so long and confusing. I'm pretty happy with the way my Lighter is. I really like him. I may come back to, I don't know. I may get him his light con, or his W engine. I keep saying the wrong one. I play all three, Genshin, Star Rail, and ZZZ. And I will say the wrong one all the time. But might get his W engine sometime. But I also trying to collect as many characters as I can. So, I'll do that one. So, I don't know if I will or won't. Now, granted, on a side note, this is gonna get old eventually, but like, Silly, which is what we're gonna be calling S-Ring Philly. I know we're talking about Lighter this video, but like, we can all agree that S-Ring Philly is going to be called Silly, correct? I hope so, because it's just I didn't have them on a lower level, did I? They see, they're not weak, but I feel like they're taking. Are they stronger than I remember? I don't think so. I might have actually had them on a no, they're just stronger than I remember. Never mind. They were just killing it faster than I expected. Anyway, we'll get back to the fight now. But like, I gotta get Silly is my favorite. So I might end up saving for Silly. But I don't know if I'm gonna save for Lighter. Like, I love Lighter. He's great. But Philly is my absolute favorite. And with Silly coming out, I cannot wait to see if I can get that guy. And his W engine. And maybe cons if I bother to save up enough. I don't know quite yet if what I'm gonna do. I'm still planning. I'm still on the debating exactly what I'm gonna do. But let's see. Because I'm trying to see if I can collect all the characters So I do have quite the plethora of characters. I am missing a few because, you know, that's just how it goes down. I'm pretty happy with my collection so far. In all fairness, I do have a couple of W endings for certain characters. Like Hugo and Karamasa. Mostly because both came out, or both I had a point in time when I could do some saving because they came out alongside a 3-5-star. Karamasa being himself. Oh, come on. Seriously, you guys gotta stop it. Yes. Alright. Alright, Pompeii Gate taken down. Mom. With that E, get the stun. And not bad. No, if only you had your ult. That would have been great. Done. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching this video. I feel like I've been extra rambly this time, and frankly, I feel like it was all over the place, and there's a bunch of stuff. So I may end up I don't edit my videos down much, but I may end up editing this one down some because I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary rambling. But we'll see what I end up doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your day.